Wonderful. Chali. Thank you so much for parents. Thank you, Deepu. Thank you, Tanush, for arranging this. And thank you, team BITS Law School, to be here on a beautiful Sunday spring morning here in Mumbai. Uh, Before we start off, just a quick introduction about Deepu Krishna here, who is going to be helping us understand the BITS Law School framework and how students can take advantage of that. So, Mr. Deepu Krishna is the head of admissions and convener of admissions committee at BITS Law School. Uh, he bridges academics, administration, ensuring that every student who joins BITS Law School finds not just a college but a home for growth. In terms of his academic credentials, he's a postgraduate gold medalist in law. He's a PhD scholar and an alumnus of NLIU Bhopal. NLUs are the top law schools in the country. And he's a committed academic leader with a deep passion for mentorship and student development. Zest for education is very, very strong. He ignites young minds and he's made himself a learner in life. Uh, we know it. He's a PhD scholar right now. He's an avid researcher in education and student psychology, continued to pursue advanced learning, and holds a host of academic certifications from institutions such as Harvard Graduate School of Education and University of California, along with publications in reputed journals and academic forums. With an impressive career spanning academia and administration, he has previously served as Dean of School of Law at Vijay Bhumi University and Director of Student Engagement, Career Advancement and International Collaborations at IFIM Institutions, which is in Bangalore. Earlier, he held senior roles at OP Jindal Global University, Karnavati University, Oro University, besides leading the law prep vertical at CL Educate Limited. Amazingly illustrious background, Deepu Krishna. Thank you for taking the time out. It's very happy to meet a fellow academician whenever we meet up. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for that sweet introduction, Rahulji, and warm welcome and good morning to all the parents and students gathered here. I have to say it takes a lot to invest your Sunday morning, like Rahul said, to invest and understand the intricacies of legal education, specifically because legal education is a niche area. Often earlier in my days, it was not that famous, but now I could see that it is gaining momentum. And every year, wherever I go, I visit a lot of schools. So wherever I go, I do ask how many for law, and the hands keep raising. I do get filled with pride when I see that, but there is also a kind of a tension which builds up, and the tension builds up because if you see my story, as in like what Rahulji just narrated, I started as a corporate lawyer, you know, graduating from a law school. Then I moved into teaching because of the love of it, which I discovered later on, because I was doing part-time teaching with a law tutorial. I used to go there, take classes on the weekends with students who during those times did not have CLAT. So they have different examinations. So NLS Bangalore used to conduct its own examination. Nalsar used to conduct its own. So the pattern was different, and you had to teach students all the pattern, that how the entrance takes place, etc. So I used to enjoy. I didn't enjoy it. It was basically my NLSIU senior, Sachin Malan, who was the founder of this entire law prep industry. He was the one who pushed me into it because I met him during one of my moot courts when I was in law school. So he was the one who pushed you start teaching. It's one of the most pious professions and all. I did it for pocket money, frankly. But when I joined, I understood that this is actually one of the pious professions. And if you have a skill for it, the student treats you like anything, and that's the rock star feel which many good teachers venture into this profession. And that's when I discovered that students, when they come for law orientation or something, they at least had an idea. And the initial batches of any national law school you see, they had what you call as 100% placements. Nowadays, most of the national law schools don't have 100% placement. I'll tell you the reason behind it also. It has nothing to do with law school or dearth of vacancies in law firm. It has more to do with the entrance examination which is happening. And that's my research. Like, I keep on researching. And it's not only my pain, Even if you go and ask NLS Bangalore's VC, he will also say the same thing, that somewhere we need to reinvent the entire entrance process. So what was different during those times and what has changed now is something which is very crucial. I recently did a podcast also that I spoke about this, and the maximum support I got was from the students who are selected, who got through NLS Bangalore and others. They came to that YouTube video and they were putting messages. Yeah, someone had to speak this. So, what exactly did I speak? And this is that session on it, because I'll tell you one thing why I am talking about this. I can go on speaking about BITS law, but I'm 100% sure most of you know about BITS Pilani, right? Because it is an institution which has built itself into such a position where I recently met some alumni, and I was a part of that alumni meet of BITS, and I got to know that under Trump administrations, one of the most powerful women who is actually taking decisions there. Uh, what decisions I don't know, because most of his decisions are controversial. But again, someone who has reached that spot is a BITS Pilani alumni, and she is slated to visit BITS Pilani campus. So that is their cloud. So when I told my dad that I'm joining BITS Pilani, my dad was very happy because he is an engineer and most of his batchmates were from BITS Pilani. So that is their reputation, given that IITs are still there. And I need not go on about bits, because we all belong to the swipe generation, three, four swipes on your mobile, and you know what you want to know about an institution. Students are very sharp. They even go to the troll pages and meme pages also to understand the other side of the story also. They go and meet students of that campus to understand how it is. So there is no point of saying all those things. But what is more crucial is something which I'm going to discuss. Let's start with entrance, because there's a part of my research where I have said that most of the good institutions around the world and even in India, if you see the entrance examination process, they do not take it as a process to reject students. The entrance process's philosophy or the admission philosophy is often to give students a kind of a idea that how the course is and what the next few years are going to be like. And that's something which was the philosophy behind finding NLS Bangalore. So, Dr. Madhav Menon, late Padma Shri Dr. Madhav Menon, you know, I often get emotional when I take his name also, because he was the one because of whom I went for law. And he was called as the father of national law schools. He was the first vice chancellor of NLS Bangalore. So he was the one who had this idea and who created this 5 year course. The real birth of this 5 year course was by Dr. Upendra Bakshi. He was the one who said that, let's create an integrated program and blah blah blah. He conceived the idea, and Professor Madhav Menon took it forward. And when he started, believe me, there were a lot of people who used to mock him and said, ये क्या कोर्स है 3+3 होता है 5 साल का. But then he proved the naysayers wrong, because one thing he also believed in, because I remember when I stepped into this profession, when I was working for OP Jindal during the initial years as a consultant, I did meet him and I asked him, and then he also stressed on one thing. By that time, CLAT had already come, and he was a big critique of CLAT. So he was the one who said, Deepu, understand one thing. If you build an institution, 5 years, forget the money. It's 5 years of a student. If he comes and he experiences life-changing dynamics, and when he graduates and he goes ahead and he becomes someone, the others in the industry come and visit you because of that person. That is something how you build institutions, and for which your admission process has to be well defined, transparent, and also something which gives the students an idea that what are you testing, what will you be teaching. And that's something which stuck to me, when we were conceiving the BITS Law School entrance process. And he was very clear that give students an idea, because student decides on his career due to various factors. Peer pressure is one of them. And nowadays there is Harvey Specter and many other serials which you can see on web series, etc., which influences their decision, social issues, blah blah blah. But they have to understand that law school requires a different set of skills, and if you are able to give them an idea about it and test them on those skills, the 5 years are going to be a very smooth sail. And that's something which stuck to us. And we were very clear. So we did a research about how NLS Bangalore used to create that aura and also test students. So during our time, the entrance process was very different and also difficult. That's something which I often say. Some students may frown at the idea that how, I advise you to please go and see the question paper. It was difficult and it was different because though the number of people who were applying to NLS Bangalore during when I came, 2006, were around 6,000 students. That's it. Today, it's around 75,000. I agree. But then, the entrance exam was made in such a manner that it was 50% objective and 50% subjective. Okay, that means we had to write things. And there was a very harsh discrimination which happened in the entrance exam, that you had to score more than 50% in your objective for your subjective to be checked. That means there was many students who used to sit and write, but their paper was thrown into the dustbin because they could not score more than 50% in their objective. Okay. Now, why subjective was a question which I, as a 12th grader, was also asking. Yare yaar, why do I have to write? Now, what were they expecting us to write? I'll tell you answer to this question also. So NLS Bangalore entrance process was one of the most beautiful things, though I also abused it when I came back because I was very tired when I came out. And imagine a 12th grader sitting for a 2.5 hour paper, all sweating and thinking, I have to score more than 50% in my objective, which included general studies, which included mathematics, which included English comprehension, 50% and more. No negative marking there, but you had to score. And then you have to come to objective. Objective. So the CLAT questions for students nowadays is so easy. It's like facts, principle, and 4 options. During our time, it was fact, principle, and then they used to say write briefs for both the parties. That means we had to support the claim of respondent, petitioner, plaintiff, or defendant both, and write depending upon the case which it is. If it's a tort case, if it's a constitutional law case, if it's a criminal, we had to think in 2.5 hours and we had to write for both the parties. Now, this is not where the pain ends. The pain goes further. They say write these briefs in 40 words. That means 40 words for defendant and 40 words for plaintiff. Imagine the kind of pressure you have, but then you have to do it. And the pain did not end here also. They said excessive words will be penalized. That means if you write 41 also, they will deduct your marks. Yeah, we used to come out and abuse and say, Kya bakwas hai? But then the 5 years of law school, we understood this is what we have to do. We have to sit in a lecture, listen to the lecture. The professor will give us case laws and he'll say, okay, these are the case laws, go read, come back in the next class. In the next class, he will challenge us and we have to prove us right because he's got a point. You have to counter it. All happens in a class which at times goes to 2 hours. Yes, that is another thing which I need to tell all the students here. Law school classes go to at least 2 hours. 1.5 hour to 2 hours is a maximum. They do give you breaks, but there are some classes which go so intensive, we do not even look at the watch because we are being taught something which we are interested in. And the entrance process, which was there, readied us for all these things. They give us a hypothetical situation. We write for both the parties where it is ours. When they ask us to take one party side and write, we are 100% going for the weaker side because we know this is where we're going to get marks. And believe me, it became so interesting because the entrance examination was a minor reflection of what is going to happen for the next 5 years. Somewhere which CLAT was missing in the initial years. And who were at the receiving end? It were the national law schools. Because they started crying, अरे quality, बच्चों की quality अच्छी नहीं है, बच्चों की quality अच्छी नहीं है. But that's not right. There is no quality of students. All students are good. I believe in the Howard Gardner School of Education, the school of thought which he has. So my idea is very simple that
Deepu, sorry. Yeah. Please go ahead.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. No issues. So my idea is very simple. Every student is special, but then the skill that is required for a law school is something that the kid should know. Because probably he's not researching. He is impressed by Harvey Specter, but he doesn't know that Harvey Specter cracked an examination called as LSAT. And then he went through the process of Harvard where they do meet the student. with a paper in the hand, which he has already submitted. They ask him questions. Even if he's a 99 percentiler, they do reject 99 percentilers at Harvard and Yale because they have a policy of meeting the students with the faculty and understanding why they want to do law. Like I said in that podcast, I repeat it here. Harvard asks you, with law, what can you do? That's their philosophy. Yale, on the other hand, questions you, what more can you do for law? See, this is how great law schools are functioning. They are not just looking at one marks, which you might have got from hit and trial method in that 1.5 hour paper, tuck, 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 OMR. Good, you got marks. But in law school, they also need consistency because it's a 5-year program and the dropout ratio in law schools is huge. No one is talking about it, let me tell you. In law school, students are dropping out in the second year, realizing, oh my God, I came here thinking I'll become a Harvey Specter, I'll read case laws, but this is a literature class. And actually, law schools are literature class because law is about language. And this is not me, this is being said by great people. Even Ram Jethmalani used to say, Harish Salve, one of the most expensive people in India and around the globe, if you want to hire him. Though he's so great that he went to the International Court of Justice, defended India's position, and charged Indian, government rupee one because he did it because he can afford to. He is that kind of a person. What separates these people from the pack of great other lawyers that you see is their command over English language. And that's what our entrance has also tested us. How well can you comprehend? When they say 40 words, they wanted us to take things from the facts, from the principle, and create it, write it in less than 40 words. That's what a lawyer's work is. When he stands before a Supreme Court judge or a High Court judge, he cannot speak facts. He has to insert facts, but he has to talk about law and talk it in such a sense and interpret the law and comprehend it in such a manner that it suits his client. And the law has been created as such that it does suit him. And that is the skill 5 years you will be taught. Interpretation, comprehension, clarity of thought, communication skill. This is what law school demands. I often tell kids, if you are an introvert, please don't go to law school. Because law school is about meeting people, connecting with people, understanding people, getting to know people, communicating with people, making them say things which they would not have said otherwise. Because, one of our professor who used to teach us client counseling, he used to say, 100 times out of 100, the client, when he comes and sits with you in the first meeting, he's going to lie because he's not comfortable saying that he has committed a wrong. But you cannot say, "Arey, tum jhoot bol rahe ho." There is a knack of doing that also. You have to sit with him in a very comfortable manner, talk to him, show compassion, show empathy, take his trust, and then he slowly starts opening. Because things should not be opened up in front of the court, in front of the judge, for which your client's confidence should be on you, where you have to be that kind of a personality also. What is this? This is clarity of thought. What is this? This is comprehension, how you comprehend those questions. You do not question your client, but you question the situation and then he starts speaking. This is what 5 years is all about if you have good command over language. And that's something which students probably don't understand. And I was even talking to someone in the consortium. He even said that, "Arey, bahut sare bacche do not even attempt reading comprehension." And they are like, "Wahi to hota hai," and which is true. Reading comprehension is what you do for the next 5 years. Because huge case loss, okay? You are looking at it, you are understanding it, and then you have to create a précis out of it. You have to understand the gist of it. And then you go and read the law. What does the law say about these things? And that's what research is called as. You have to do a lot of research. Some students think, "Arey, this is not what I signed up for. I thought there is something more. I thought it's all about moot court." But moot court is also this. In moot court also, you have to research, you have to go and you have to stand and speak. You know what we are doing at BITS Law School? Like, Rahul sir was just discussing with us when he started that you guys might be busy, you guys do a lot of travel. Tomorrow I'm starting for Ooty. going to Good Shepherd School, we are doing what you call as a debate, code debate competition. We are making students understand the process. It's not a moot court. We've given them 4 cases. It's divided into 8 teams. The kids will come and they will debate on preset questions of law, but they're researching as we speak. They are all taking that points and they're researching. We are inducing them to understand what happens inside law school so that they do not come unprepared. And this dropout ratio reduces. And I'll tell you something more. There are students who, after these sessions of ours, realize that, okay, I have the skill to become a lawyer. I have. And that's why I'm telling you, CLAT is also improving. If you see, it has improved throughout the years. They have now included more of reading because they also understand बच्चा पढ़ ही नहीं रहा है. While ask us, we used to read 700-page judgment, not full 700-page. Because we were good at reading comprehension, we used to sit, we knew where the judge is saying what is the school of thought, Socrates or whatever he is borrowing. That philosophy is something which I support. My advocate has said something here in 700 pages. Out of 700 pages, probably 20 passages or something we read, and then we are ready and we go into the law, into the next class, and we are very well prepared. Okay, this is what we are to talk. And that's something which we have done at BITS Law School. We are very clear. We're getting a lot of flack from parents also. Itna time क्यों लग रहा है आप लोगों को? Itna time, because I tell you that's how you have been customized. That test दो, एक marks ले लो, इस mark के हिसाब से ले लो, टक 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 टक. But that may work for engineering. That will not work for law school, if you ask me. Because in 1.5 hours, probably the kid is sitting in an examination hall, the fan is not working, the invigilator is disturbing. It may happen. And it has happened. I've met a lot of students. I travel a lot. I go to a lot of CLAT coachings where a kid this year came and told me, sir, what you said, I suffered. He said he was there, he was sitting, and the invigilators were talking. So he objected. He said, please don't talk. My concentration is getting weak. So he got offended. And for the next 15 minutes, that invigilator was circling around him. So he objected again. He said, sir, आप क्या कर रहे हो? मैं disturb हो रहा हूँ. So he said, मेरे को मेरा काम मत सिखाओ, मैं invigilation कर रहा हूँ. Think about that kid, how disturbed that kid might be. And that is the score which is going to get him into law school. That is so wrong. For which what we do is we give multiple options to the kid. You give CLAT, ALET, SLAT, any law entrance examination, because most of the law entrance examination tests you on these specific skills. We have our own entrance exam also, which is not compulsory. We have not made it compulsory because we get a lot of students who give the medicine exam, the NEET, and then they realize that, oh my god, probably I'm not cut out for it, and then they come and they tell us that I want to do law. We say that give this entrance exam, and our entrance exam is designed in such a manner, like what I'm saying. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of comprehension. They can score there also. So that's one option for a student. But before this, we ask you for your 12th and 10th school scores also. Now, why? Because this is now BITS Pilani's philosophy. They think that for a graduate program, which is longer than 3 years, ours is 5 years, which is the longest graduate program in India currently, 5-year program, consistency is very important. Because there might be a chance that third or fourth year the student starts breaking. Because he'll say, I'm not graduating, I'm just studying, what is happening? For which they check the 10th and 12th score and check the consistency of marks. Though the percentage which we have given is very low, but then again, they do form a part of qualifier for the last round, which I'm coming to. So your 10th, 12th examination scores, and then comes your extracurriculars also. So what all extracurricular achievements that you have done, each has a marker. International has a marker, national has a marker, state level has a marker. You have to give us your extracurriculars. Why extracurriculars? Because extracurriculars form a very important part in law school. Law school is not just about attending classes, having a good sound English, and just attending it. No, it has a lot of activities which compels you to speak, and every student out of the 180 batch size or 60 classroom size has to speak. If they remain silent, the faculty will teach, you have to speak. He will give you a chance to speak. If you don't speak, you get every semester you have a paper presentation. You have to present papers which is of 6 subjects. You will get to speak. But some students are late bloomers. or else they are very shy. Like I said, introvert. You can be ambivert. Law school will change you. You can be shy. Like I was very shy. I belong to an all boys school, so I was very shy. So the first few trimester, my law school had trimester system. Every 3 months we had a paper. It was a bit difficult, but then somehow my shyness went in thin air. I don't even remember when it happened, but it does happen. But if you're an introvert, you'll remain hold in your room. No one is going to come and talk to you. Probably in the second, third year, you'll understand this is not my cup of tea and you'll just walk off. But if you're an ambivert, that means for your own needs, you are ready to speak. You can go and speak. You interact with people. And these are the kids who have done something in extracurriculars, be it sports, arts, music, anything. That's why extracurriculars form a small part of our selection process. Then comes your any entrance score. And now this has a lion share marks in the qualifier because we are giving you multiple opportunities. So there are a lot of students this year who have been selected in JNLU or NLU Jodhpur who have applied to us and who have taken admission this year because that has been the response of our own students. Now that's what I was telling that our own kids who are in the campus have become our ambassadors. You will not see BITS Law advertising them a lot because that's not BITS Pilani ethos. They don't do it either. So what we do is we let our work speak because that's something which we believe in, that students are not our customers, students are our products. Because you create a superior product, send them for internships, that's the sample thing. Send them for internships. When they go, they meet the customers who are law firms and the potential employers we have. When they go and intern, they prove it. And it has happened 11 times since the last internship. 11 times. Law firms have called us and they have said, we want to intern. We want to offer more internship to your students. Your students are exceptional. And this is not any firm. This is all firms, including the top law firms also, who have reached out to us. So the latest is Cyril Amerson Mangaldas have approached us and they're like, they need students. We are right now in the fourth year, and our student, one of our students, has already been placed with a fintech major company held by Axis Bank. So that's the good news, which is slowly spreading in the campus. The first batch is thrilled. They're like, wow. But why? We didn't do anything. I'm again saying we just got them internship. It's the firm itself which is approaching and saying this kid is a champ. This kid is a champ. We need him back. And that's the dearth of talent, if you ask me. Because somewhere as I said, the admissions and the placements are always aligned, and probably people are not understanding it. And that's how Harvard, Yale, Stanford they became because they have that purpose. And that's how our admission team is built. None of us are sales representatives. None of us have been hired from sales oriented, profession. We all have been academicians of small levels. We all are still studying and we all are counselors. That's why some parents say, आपके यहाँ से कॉल नहीं आया हम लोगों को, मैंने इंक्वायरी डाली थी. Like, सर सैटरडे संडे हमारे काउंसलर्स कॉल नहीं करते because that's how the Birlas treat them. Nay, don't be counselors, don't sell. And this is the process because no one can interfere in this process also. So let's get back to the admission process now. So this is how it goes. Now this is a qualifier. So the cumulative score of all these should be above 50%. That means your 10th, 12th scores, extracurriculars and entrance exam, the cumulative score for this should be above 50%. The moment it is above 50%, you get a call for interaction round. We don't call it interview because it's not an interview. It's not a faculty sitting with you and playing KBC with you and asking you questions like who's the president of Namibia, etc. On the other hand, it's called as interaction, where if a student is qualifying for it, there is a process for it. They both book the slots and then the faculty and the student meet online. There is an introduction. When the introduction happens, the faculty is trying to deduce the communication skill of the student. Then there is a process where they give you one word. It's called as one word essay. This is the Oxford model, where you give one word and understand the presence of mind of the student, the clarity of thought of the student, the communication skill of the student, and you give 2 minutes to the student where they can even jot down some points through a pen and paper. And then you also understand their comprehension abilities. Why comprehension abilities? Because they're very important for a student for the next 5 years. This interaction starts with one word. The student takes 2 minutes, jots down, speaks. Post that, on that word, there will be a discussion. It can be anything. That one word can be poverty, inflation, equality. But then that discussion is something where the faculty is able to understand the student better. And it should always be a faculty because it is them and the student, the magic inside the classroom which creates institution. So the faculty gets to give marks for all these pointers to the for the student once the interaction is over. But again, the selection is not done. So we have not given whole and soul because faculties can also be biased because of many other factors. So we have created all the interviews are recorded with permission of the student, and this is also vetted that was there some problem there. And the faculty cannot just give the score like 7 out of 10 and get away. The faculty has to write a para on the student itself. For example, if Deepu is presenting, so he has to write Deepu was a very articulate student. The one word was this, and he spoke about blah blah blah. Why? Because we want to be very sure that you were sure. If you are even saying, I do not find this student a right fit for the institution, why? No, you have to write. He could not articulate properly. He had difficulty in understanding things, and a team sits and also checks whether these things are right. They give you a mark. This entire thing is total. It is presented before something which we call as admission committee, headed by the chief of the Birla administration, not Mr. Birla, but there is a designated person. I cannot name them, and then the VC of BITS Pilani, our dean who's an observer. There is an external professor who sits. There's an internal professor who sits. We present everything. They realize a cutoff, and the cutoff which generally is on the higher side. Any student who makes a cutoff only receives an offer letter. So this is our process right from the first year. And believe me, we have not rejected students, but our cutoff has never been lowered. And that's something which I really love to work with them because they make a promise to the kid right at the admission time. And it is, if you are in, we'll give you so much opportunities here which you have to exploit, and kids are exploiting that. You go to the library, you go and see that kids are sitting and studying. The only complaint which law students have is यहाँ बहुत पढ़ाई होती है. And that's not a bad complaint, if you ask me, because that's exactly how NLS Bangalore is also. If you go and ask them, they also say the same thing. I remember my law school days, we also used to say the same thing. "Abhi bhai, kitna padhate, kitna padhate." But then that pays dividend when we go for internships. And that's again coming from the horse's mouth. As in, we conducted a students' interaction round where one of the students, she said it, that I used to hate my life for attending a law school of which makes me sit for 2 hours. Classes are interesting, but then I'm like, where is my life? What am I doing? All I can do is go and play some sports and then run back and complete my assignment. But when I started interning with the students who are senior to me, of other law schools, and when a partner of a law firm appreciated me and said, your work is too good, that's when I realized all those hours in a classroom are paying off. And even the kid who has got placement, the one I'm talking about, he also is saying the same thing. And that's the motivation for the younger kids. The first year students are listening to all this and they're like, oh God, I think we should stop complaining about sitting inside the classroom, because that's important if you ask me. Sports, everything. Yeah, we have our sports fest. We have our cultural fest. We have everything. Just yesterday, Harsh Gujral, the famous comedian, was there in our campus. There was a cultural fest which is going on. Kids are celebrating. But with that, we could also see that they're talking about their assignments. कि, "अरे यार, ये complete करना है, Monday को पूछेंगे." So that's exactly how good campuses are. That's exactly how it is. Kids were discussing about internship. In my internship, I did this. So that's the beauty of it, and that's exactly how it happens. So I think I've covered almost everything. Now I would appreciate questions. If parents have questions, I'm all ready to answer them.
Sure, thanks. Thanks, Deepu Krishna, for that elaborate sharing of what really happens at BITS Law School. Parents, if you can please raise your hands if you have any questions. I'll request you to unmute and you can then shoot questions. Yes, Mr. Imran Sheikh, please unmute. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Krishna, for the webinar. Actually, I have got two questions, if you permit.
Yeah, please.
So, one of them is, during your webinar or something, you were morely talking about sort of the criminal or litigation side, if the client comes in, or if there's something, or a judge or something. But how is the law school catering to non-litigation perspective, like maybe corporate law? Like, if my son wants to not pursue that side of the aspect, like he wants to go into some other aspect, that is I come from an engineering background, so the first thing which runs in my mind is law means a black coat and a litigation perspective. So
Correct.
that is one thing. How does bits law cater to that? My second question was, how do I respond to, my son or anyone saying that now is the world of AI and everything is coming, and there's always a thing that oh, accountants and lawyers, so to speak, would be obsolete. Everything is on AI now. So how do you navigate this thing, which I don't believe it is true. It's not going to happen, but how do you just put this point across that AIs will not sort of it is still relevant, much more relevant. So these are the two questions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your question, Imranji. And uh, uh, I'm sorry if I sounded like that because that was my own personal experience out of which I spoke. We are rather questioned by a lot of parents that what are you doing for litigation? Because BITS law and BITS Pilani per se was created because Mr. Birla got a lot of uh, you know persuasions from the corporate in Mumbai that Mumbai also needs a premier law school. We want a law school in Mumbai where our kids can also go and we can also hire rather than traveling to Bangalore or to to Delhi or anywhere else. And that's how it was born. And most of our internships, if you see, even the placement, the PPO which I'm talking about, has come from a corporate only. And we have BBA LLB specifically, and it has been designed by Professor Anand Mishra, who's himself a CFA. And probably we're the only law school where in the very first year we are also teaching students about how to read a financial statement. Why are we teaching it? Because this came directly from one of the leading persons in law from a top 5 law school. She said that when in internship students come, one of the problems is we have to teach everything to them. That's not done. She said send us students who know these basics at least so that they can be given some work. So we took these kind of inputs from the industry and then we passed it over. That's something which we have done. And having said that, I'm saying this again with a lot of responsibility that we are not just a corporate hiring place. There are a lot of other things also which our kids are doing. Some of our kids are doing sports law. For instance, they are so interested. And soon we're going to have a tie because the talks are already on. ISD is also tying up with us, the Spain-based institution, which is like a pioneer in sports law. So we're doing all those things also, right? And corporate is one of those very strong pillars inside our campus. They have a club inside the campus where the students are also preparing for CS. So we have a lot of students who are doing law and side by side they're preparing for CS also because the syllabus are very similar in both of them. And Professor Anand Mishra is the one who chairs it because he himself is a CFA and he knows the syllabus. He's helping students make sure that these two travel parallelly. Also, they get their internships right from the second year into these kind of firms. So that's about it. About litigation, see, as I said, it's a matter of choice. So I went into corporate litigation. So when I was hired, I had two offers. One was with ICICI Bank, which was purely corporate, and the other was corporate litigation in Delhi, where I could go and present my case before courts also. So I was of the belief that if you have joined, and it was corporate in nature. So our clients were NHAI, and our clients were Tata. Warner Brothers was our client, I remember. So we had to do corporate litigation for them. So that's how it was. And in our university also, as in I'll request my team to share the internship report with you, where you would see that most of the students have gone for corporate only. Kellogg's is one of those. Nivea is one of those firms which keep interning, which keep taking interns from our institution. So corporate is something which has its own focus and has its own client. But there are other fields of law also which are slowly getting more and more interest from the students. I'll also tell you something about intellectual property rights. That's something which is slowly getting momentum given AI, what you spoke about. I'll come to your second question. Now, AI was used by even us when we were in law school. It has only made life easier for lawyers. So you might know about Harvey. That was not the Harvey Specter Harvey. It is a AI lawyer. And due to BITS Pilani's association with us, some of our students are also helping the mother company create Harvey, but Harvey will never be able to, it will give you research in its form, but when it comes to expressing, it has a single tone. It is not persuasive, and they even tried it, and Harvey lost the case. So you can Google this, it's there on record. Rather, we are thinking that the judge should be AI. Because the judge has to be unbiased. So you feed everything, let the judge listen, and then the judge come out with what you call as the answer. So that's something which is still a school of thought. But if you are asking about working, it has only made working easier for us. Because I'll tell you how it was. During our time, there was this one website called as Manu Patra, and then there were other called as LexisNexis. These are directories of case laws which have happened all throughout the year. Okay. So what we had to do was, rather than going and so if you visit a lawyer's office, you might see there are a lot of books there. They are basically case law journals and books. So when a case comes up, the lawyer knows certain cases, but there will be a specific case which he don't remember. So he will not go and start picking up because he remembers everything. He will go to these websites and type one or few letters of that, and then he'll get that book because it is mentioned there in one path. Or else he'll download the entire case, but then he had to sit and read and find out specific things. Now with AI, things have become so easy that when a client is coming in front of me and sitting, I will just record it, obviously with his permission. And when he's speaking, those things get caught. I'll copy those key words and paste it. I'm telling you exactly what is happening. You put it into these portals, and the portal will design the case laws according to the classification and tell me. Things have become easier for me because now I'll take up that case law and so this is research. So AI has made things easier for us, if you ask me. So I did something 2 days back, and that was completed in like 1 hour, which would have been a work of like I don't know how much. And but the thing is, I'll tell you with AI also, since you're an engineer, you'll also agree. There also, I push students a lot to be fluent in English. When I say English, it's called as the British English, not the American English. Why and what is the reason behind it? I'll tell you. Is because if you ask me what is prompt engineering, also the one who's sitting here and requesting. So I attended a lecture by a very famous professor on AI. He also said the same thing, that AI is so smart that the way you are communicating with it, it is also judging you. So it will only give you answers in a very raw manner. He said, तुमको तुम्हारी औकात के हिसाब से वो आंसर देता है. तुम जैसा उससे पूछ रहे हो, that's how it is also answering. So when you are even communicating with the AI, these prompts, the way you are putting it, also means a lot. That means British English, the way you are communicating. And that's something which lawyers have to do specifically. That's why lawyers' prompts are also very, very different, because we are trained to be great comprehension specialists. We have to comprehend our thing, because the judge is like an AI to us, because he's prepared from both the sides. I am presenting from my side, so my case has to be stronger in my sense, and when I'm speaking. So that's something which we are ready with. Cases are coming of different level. I have to agree to it, because here one of the major thing which we have been faced is it's the problems which we are facing, and that is connected to evidencing, because evidencing has become very difficult, though it is very easy to find out that this is AI generated. So nowadays you might be seeing a lot of videos also where the prime minister is saying something, but he's not that guy, his voice is also there. So evidencing is becoming a tough task, even in corporate, where a person can even edit a document and bring it. So government is now under pressure to make sure that Evidence Act gets reformed. The person who is vetting these evidences, because they will not accept a documentary evidence also unless it is not attested by government. So these are the challenges which we are facing, but they are procedural challenges which almost every other profession is also, facing. So that's the challenge which we are looking at. But in terms of work, I think the work will only increase because we have seen whenever development happens, there is always a kind of a resistance, from humans. And whenever this resistance happens, law is the one which comes into the purview. It creates policies. Outside the code, there is policy making. Inside the code, the fight that whether the person had a duty of care or whether the person whose right is infringed had a right over it or not. And as we speak, we are slowly waking up to that what rights is AI infringing, and that all will be decided by courts. A legislature can create a law, but the court will tell them that what is the interpretation of the present set of system. So that's something which is making things interesting. Because I remember when the computers came, there were a lot of litigation which was filed because they were not even ready to accept a printout. So that was a time. So similarly, with any development which is happening, the courts are only burdened, and policy making is something which increases, and that's where the scope for lawyers will increase. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks, Deepu Krishna. That was really a wholesome, holistic view on what needs to be done. Thank you for that. Mr. Imran Sheikh, if you would uh, want to further ask anything to what you've already asked, or we are good with the answer, then we can move to other parents. Yeah, other parents, if you have any other questions, Imran Sheikh, I'm trying request.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Krishna, for the reply. I'm okay, with this. My only other thing was, as I understand, you're saying that apart from the four specializations which you've mentioned, you are tying up with more in fields of AI or sports law or IP law. That is my understanding that you are.
Yes, yes, yes. We cannot ignore corporate, sir. The work is too much in corporate, if you are asking me. We cannot ignore them.
Got it.
Litigation is something which is a student's personal choice. Some students want to do it because they are like, if I have taken up law as a career, what use it if I do not get to go to the court? So they are the ones who
Right.
run for it. But
Right.
in corporate also there is litigation, and which is very, very, fancy, and the facts are also different. Some kids are very focused on criminal nature of it also, as in,
Got it.
for example, insider trading and other things. So in corporate itself, there is criminal also. And criminal laws per se is very different, where you get hired by defense counsels who defend
Mhm.
criminals basically. Prosecution is something where you become a government lawyer. The government hires you, and then you are the one who's prosecuting criminals. So that's totally different, for which you have to give an entrance examination and then you get recruited. That's how it happens. Otherwise, defense counsels are the ones who come for hiring for students who are interested in criminal law. So we have students who are interested in that also, but largely it is corporate, and most of our internships also, if you see, they are in corporates.
So the internships are every semester or every year? How do they
Okay,
work?
so we have a two internship policy every year. One is a winter internship, which is a smaller duration. The other is summer internship, which is 2 months. But the student need not, intern for 2 months. It's not prescribed or proscribed by us. It is upon the student. We will provide you internship. It's upon you. Some students are really ambitious, go for these two internships because they know the heavier my resume, things work beautifully for me. But some kids are like they want to take a break for a 1 month and be with the family, etc. So it depends upon them. But these are the two internship breaks which we do, and we
Great.
do provide internship. Internships is on us. That's something which we have an office called as IICAO. It's called as Industry Interface and Corporate Advancement, where what we do is we not just get them internships, we also have a strict policy where they are groomed also by this office. They're told that if you want to apply to say a firm, a firm, and they specialize in this, your resume should look like this, your application should look like this, how to use LinkedIn, how your LinkedIn should look like. So there are different sessions which they do. They keep students very busy. So apart from studies, these are the other things which kids do. Recently, they conducted a session where they were teaching students Excel from a corporate point of view, because when you go for corporate internships, learning Excel is very important. And when I heard that this lecture is happening, I felt very jealous because it took me a while when I got placed to actually understand that what is Excel and how important it is. So they are doing their work quite beautifully.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Thank you, Rahulji.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for those questions again. And thank you, of course, to our guest today. Yes, other parents who have any other questions over here, please shoot anything you would want to know, anything else with respect to law, with respect to BITS Law School. Yeah. So Deepu Krishna, in the meanwhile, for other parents who will be watching it later also,
Yeah.
what are the admissions timelines that we are looking at every year and particularly for this year?
See, we just wounded up our first round, which started around in November, I guess, and then we have already sent some offers to the students. Some students have already taken admission, so that was the closure of our first round. As we speak, the second round is open. This will be a bit lengthy and this will be less crowded because students are busy with their 12th. So the round is still open because there are still students who apply and the interaction round is also happening. The third round will begin somewhere around. Kevin, can you give us an idea about the third round when it is going to begin? Because
It will start post board exams.
post board exam. So there is no specific date, but it will all be notified on our website. So post the board exam, that is the time when students come and apply more. And post 12th scores, then there is a lot of traction because there might be some students who, because we seek predictive scores, so they score more than the predictive. So that's also one scenario which happens. All of a sudden the predictive scores go high, and then the student deserves scholarship. So we even pay back the student also if he has already paid excessive fees. We pay back students. So this is a continuing process, but generally by the third round our seats, get full. So that's how it is.
I mean, we would advise not to delay in
Yeah.
submitting the application because it will also affect your scholarships in case if you're eligible for any scholarship.
Sure.
So the earlier the better.
Sure. So what we are saying is that the opportunities for scholarship are massively more in earlier rounds, and it is also a function of the number of students applying and the scholarship pool available.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the scholarships are decided on the basis of your performance. So
Right.
obviously, the round one we had the maximum number of applications. So we have released some offers, and many students who are eligible have already received scholarship. So as and with round
Right.
one, round two, and round two, our scholarship funds will get depleted.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that. Any other parents want to ask any other questions? There's a lot of information, very relevant data. Thank you for that, Team Bits Law School. This is very good because you're sharing a lot of data which parents would want to know. You're preemptively sharing with them. That's great. And a lot of scholarships is what we can see, up to 100% tuition fee waiver.
Yeah.
Wow. This is across all 5 years?
This is across all 5 years. They have to maintain a certain average CGPA attendance and also make sure that they do not get into any indisciplinary action.
Right.
So if they do something, again there is a disciplinary committee which is constituted just like a court. They're heard, so they do not take the action quick. Also, so they will be heard first, and only then that is done. But that's the last resort which we do because believe me, most of the scholarship students are also doing really good inside the campus. So
Okay.
really, the ones we are giving are also the toppers of the batch. So that speaks about our admission process also.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you for that.
And generally, these endowment scholarships are given away by Mr. Birla himself. So all the students are invited by him, and then he gives away these. So that's a photo op moment for the student to meet him in person.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, Mr. Sheikh again. Yes, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Another thing which just popped up right now is Mr. Krishna. How are the like international relations and any other semester exchange? Do you have such programs which you've got tie up with certain other maybe national or international schools in which there is some cross exposure?
Yeah.
And I believe this is, if I'm correct, this is your fourth year of operations, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
none of the so you'll be having the first pass out batch in the next year.
Yes.
Okay. So again, obviously we'll not have any placement details as of yet, but what are you targeting in this scenario or something? Because right now my son is in ninth. So, we're just having a little, toy of, what is to come. And, we're trying to, get ahead of this thing and try. So we're just trying to understand in these two aspects, how is BITS law placed?
So for our placement record, just watch this space. I'll tell you. You know, I'm 100% sure because in the fourth year itself, we got a PPO for a kid, and that's the impact which we have created. We are doing things very silently. We're not doing any pomp and show, but our kids and their works and the faculty who are teaching them inside the classroom, it's what is speaking. And you'll have a data by the time your kid fills up the form. Uh, and about our international relationships, my team has already shared a PDF document with you. Uh, we have MOUs with firms which are, I say they are, they can be materialized. They are not just on paper. And we are very clear that we do not want parents to spend more money because the student exchange program, if you ask me generally, uh, let me talk to you about summer school. Summer school is basically what we also would do in our campus so that a student can come and experience my university. Learning happens there, say 25%. Well, it's basically an advertorial by us where we will invite a kid, he'll come, he'll experience the campus, the infra, and then he'll go back. You spend a lot of money in that. Rather than that, what we do is we have foreign professors who come for a semester, stay in our campus, they take an elective course. So the student is studying our course also. He's doing an elective course where the students are also attending this classes. And then with classes, he's also testing kids for a research which he's doing. And what he does is he takes these two kids for the research and he says, okay, I'm doing this research. Let's, I'm also giving you a co-authorship. So like this, our student Trisha Zatakia, who's from Ahmedabad, she's right now in the fourth year, and she has already two international publications, one of which is on the WIPO's website. Name one law school where probably a third year student's article authored by her is on the WIPO's website. WIPO is a world governing body for intellectual property rights. So, that's something which as a change we are doing. We are paying enough. Why do we want you to pay more and send your kid abroad, which is an extra expense? But since it is the order of the nature, we have MOUs with foreign universities, which are given in this PDF, which you can check, where all these MOUs are also mentioned. As we speak, you won't believe it, our students have already been to Columbia Law School for this exchange program. You can check our Instagram page and LinkedIn page where all these newses are mentioned, but then they had to pay. So that's where, we think that why, but then because this is the order of nature, we at Jindal were the only people whom Columbia selected for this trip. So our kids and their kids were the only ones who went for Columbia trip. So that is also something which we are doing. But we do feel that when the kid comes back, they come with a kind of an exposure. They came and they said, oh yeah, their buildings are good, yeah, oh, and the classes were good. But then when you mention it, I haven't seen any law firm looking at it and saying, oh wow, pick this student. They would look at your research, they would look at your internship. So international internship is something which we are working at. So there are already 3 international law firms which we have been roped in, thanks again to the Aditya Birla Group. They are around the globe now. They're operating. So when Mr. Birla was there, KBC, he might have also mentioned it. They have now become a conglomerate which are very silently operating. I love that thing about them. They're not very vocal about it, but they do a lot of work and they believe in austerity. And that's what, at times I feel very bad at because I think we have to speak about these things. Why don't we speak about these things? They don't do that. They're like, see, the first test a student should pass is to research what is a good institution and then let him find us rather than we go to him. But that's their philosophy and we agree to it. And it is working also. So I would invite you all to please come down to the campus. We have a system of campus visit because of security regulations, where you have to book a campus visit. Come and meet our kids. So we do not have that policy also where you cannot meet our student, blah, blah, blah. They are there in this. If they are free, because mostly they're in the classroom, you can even interact with them. And we have students from 24 states in our campus. Even 2 girls from Jammu and Kashmir, scholarship students, are exceptional kids. So yesterday in the fair, they were even, they had a, stall also where they were selling Kashmiri clothes, So those kids are also there and ask them and they'll tell you the kind of campus it is. And lot of students from Puducherry. This year, there is a kid from Puducherry who's joined us. Two students from Mizoram are there. And these are scholarship kids of ours. Good kids who are, and it's not a richest place, as they say. Good students, if they apply and they have good scores, we're giving them great scholarships also. But it is a very transparent process, let me tell you. Some parents call us and say, कि, अरे आपने सिर्फ 35% ही क्यों दिया? And we are like, हमने नहीं दिया, it is a system. This course and the system are aligned, and there is no manual intervention. It goes by itself. That's the BITS Pilani's system. No manual intervention. None of us have control over these things. It just happens. It goes by itself. So that's how it is. So, rather than me speaking about it, I would request you to come and experience it. For all other things, we are sharing those PDFs. You can go with photographs. We have shown you that what all kinds of MOUs we are having. We have organizations inside BITS Law School, small student and faculty-led organizations, which are doing MOUs with foreign universities. And something I love about BITS Pilani is since the 1990s, they have been working with the MIT. The USA MIT, not the Indian one. We have a MIT in India also. So the MIT, and they have been working with them. And these both institutes, their philosophies are aligned. And that's how this non-STEM institution like BITS Law came into being, because they were the first one to realize that a mind which searches for Eureka also needs to be taught social sciences. Otherwise, one day we will have dinosaurs running around. That's what their philosophy was. That you have to fill them also with some theories of humanity, so that because if they look for Eureka, they'll keep on inventing. You have to stop them and say, okay, for the society, think about it. So that's something which prompted this institute to come up, because BITS Pilani, we have 4 campuses, one of which is outside India. They were the first one to push it and say that do something non-STEM also. In our campus, we have 3 campuses. One is the BITSOM, the School of Management. It is only MBA, no undergraduate program they have there. They are the older kids. They are the kids who are giving guidances to our kids. That's a great combination to see these 3 sitting and talking about the stock market and blah, blah, blah. It's too good. Then we have design students, and then we have law students. So design and law are undergraduate programs. It's a PG. And that's how they have created this campus, which is in Mumbai, right? Yesterday, Mr. Harsh Gujral was also making fun of us, saying कि अरे ये मुंबई नहीं है यार, ये तो कल्याण है. So it is called as Mumbai campus, but it's in Kalyan. So it's around 45 kilometers from the airport. So when you come, you'll have to at least wait, because of the Mumbai traffic, it takes around 2.5 hours to reach us. But once you reach the campus, that is where the magic begins. That is when you see, oh my God. And the campus is very well built. It's built by Mr. Hafiz Contractor. He's the one who's designed it. He's a famous designer, celebrated designer. So I would rather, invite you all to just come down to the campus and see it for yourself.
Sorry, so there's a parent who's asked to share the links in the parent group. Parent group, I think a lot of parents who have not attended might find a slight bit of a disconnect here. I would suggest you please pick it up from the chat box that the BITS team has already shared. If you want it to be shared again, please mention it in the chat box that I would like.
Or else you can send your email ID to Kevin, Hikansha, or someone, and they will share all the
Yeah.
links. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
They
Mr.
will
Dave,
share
I
it.
request you to,
Yeah.
just reach out. Kevin, can you just quickly share your email ID, please, if you're okay with that? Does that work?
Yeah.
Deepu,
You can
Rishita?
share
Kevin,
the
Hikansha.
admissions email ID.
I'm sorry?
Suhana, please share the admissions email ID. We can share them.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin, yes.
Yeah. There's a specific email ID for admission. You just mail us by saying that we attended the session and we need the links. We'll
Yeah.
send you all the links and also some videos and testimonials that
Sure.
students and parents have given us.
Great. Thank you, Suhana, for that quick update. So all parents attending today's students, if there are any, please pick up the details. Now you can take the discussion further from here, directly connect with BITS Law School. Personally, I visited it last year as a parent who's more as a parent than a counselor. I was just sharing it with Tanush before the session. And beautiful campus. Great food from TajSats is what we enjoyed over there. And it's nice to be in Bombay without being in Bombay, if I can call it that way. So that's please do visit once. Please do visit once. As I share with all parents, any university, even if you are contemplating remotely, please do visit. It changes a lot of perspectives about what we want to look at.
True.
Great.
And
Uh,
specifically, if law school you're going, just visit 2, 3 places for sure. One of which is the library, because your kid is going to spend at least more than 50% of his time in library, because that's something which our seniors told us and we have lived, and I am seeing my students live. Though the books are accessible nowadays on the laptop, everything is digitized, but then there are some kids who want to sit and have that smell of the pages and then read, use markers, blah blah blah. So they do it. So library is a very important thing. See the library resources which are available. So Swan has just shared with you the bits library PDF also. So that's something where majority of our investment also goes in. Believe me. There are books and portals, the subscription of which goes into lakhs. And law is actually a very expensive thing, if you ask me. So those books, we at National Law Schools were lucky that one of the retired chief justice, before passing away, he donated his entire. So he was a gracious one, so he did it. Otherwise, we would not have been able to get those books which I'm seeing in our library also. So library is something which you should visit, and then you should check up faculties. That's very important. Still today, when I'm stuck somewhere, I do refer and call some of my faculties and ask. Leave me, as in I'm nothing. Supreme Court judge, Justice Chandrachud said that still I call Professor Mulchand Sharma and ask for guidance when I'm stuck somewhere. That's how much connections the law school aura and the environment has with faculties. Believe me. And that's very important. Don't ever go to a campus, please, where they have just hired faculties for the sake of it. And believe me, law school faculties are very expensive. Because law school education is expensive, they would want to join somewhere where they are financially also independent. So National Law Schools, that's where NLS Bangalore scores. NUJS is one of those where they have some exceptional faculties. And then BITS has invested. We have faculties who were formerly teaching in NLS Bangalore. We have hired them, some from Jindal. That's exactly how we have created. And some are from AMU, and that's a great amalgamation that they have been able to make. So please meet some faculties also if possible, at least the program team, understand. And please do also look at the daily curriculum which is designed for the kid. Because I have seen law schools which are doing law part-time, as in they'll have a building where law and other things are also running, and faculties are also shared. So this BBLLB course is quite funny, where I have seen that Bar Council of India is very clear about one thing, that law faculty should be different from management school. But sadly, I've seen some institutions where BBLLB specifically, they share BBA faculty with business school and law school. And that's bad, because the orientation is very different. In law school, the kind of BBA that you are teaching is from a law student's perspective. So if you are teaching mergers and acquisitions for a BBA student, you might be teaching him not the process, but what is mergers and acquisitions, the financial part of it, blah, blah, blah. But when you're teaching a law student, you have to understand how the process starts, the due diligence starts. So that's something which someone, if they visit the campus, meet the faculties, meet the program team, then you get an idea that, okay, this is how it goes. And sadly, I'm telling you, this all is happening because most of the parents are also unaware. Thanks to Rahul ji that he invited some parents and he's igniting the parents that about, this is how it goes. And I'm always interested to meet the parents because parents need to be counseled. I often have this session where I go and ask, if your kid is doing CA, you know what your kid is studying, right? If your kid is doing medicine, you have an idea that how it is being taught. What about law? And believe me, maximum number of times parents are confused. वो ऐसे ही पढ़ाते होंगे, cases पढ़ाते होंगे. They don't understand what I just told you. It's language that they are taught.
Great. Parents, any final questions? Thank you, Deepu Krishna, for extending the session beyond our time. Parents, any other final questions? Otherwise, I think we've overshot the time big time here. Anyone else wants to shoot anything? No, I think we are good. So, any final words before we conclude, sir?
Nothing. All the best to the kids who are, if they are attending for your exams, and choose law if you have those skills which I was talking about: comprehension skills, communication skills, clarity of thought, and patience, because it's a 5-year program. And every year you'll be taught something new about human behavior. And it is interesting, but only if you take interest in that. Like I said, if you're introvert, then there are many professions where you and a laptop can earn you crores of rupees. You can just sit, don't talk to people, and be pulled up. But if you really want to improve as human being and be powerful and have that kind of a persona, go to law school. They're going to completely change you. But then that inclination should be there from you. Uh, your parents cannot do anything in that regard. You as a personality and whatever persona you have is how you should choose careers, not on anything else. That's my final sense.
Sorry. No, it's just I was just going through the data shared on chat also. Very interesting inputs coming there.
They said you
Great.
also, sir, so you can also go through
Sure,
that.
sure. No, no, perfectly all right. So thank you so much again, BITS team, and thank you, Deepu Krishna, for coming and sharing the perspective. This was more conversational than a presentation, and I believe it was really insightful to hear it from a law student and then from somebody who's working to help the law graduates achieve very, very different heights. Thank you so much. Thank you, parents, for coming on a Sunday morning, and we'll keep meeting for more webinars from more new age schools. Thank you. Have a great Sunday, all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.